We journeyed away from Vienna on board Austria's high-speed train service. A few hours later, we arrived in one of the world's most romantic cities. Salzburg is a compact city, the perfect place for people who love to walk the day away. It dates back to the 7th century, a time when the region was ruled by wealthy archbishops, whose riches came from what was known as white gold, the salt that fills the surrounding mountains. The holy rulers left behind churches of every description. But Salzburg is most famous for its music, the music of one man in particular. Behind me is the birthplace of Salzburg's most famous son, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He was born here in 1756 and died a pauper just 35 years later. He was in fact a genius. In his short lifetime, he composed an amazing 626 pieces, including 24 operas and 49 symphonies, the first when he was only 6 years old. If it's not Mozart that inspires you, then perhaps you'd prefer the other extreme. Salzburg is also known for one particular movie, made back in 1965. And the song says it all.
Let me tell you, Sound of Music is the best movie I think I've ever seen.
And let me tell you, in England they show it every holiday, and we've seen it maybe 10, 15 times in our lives.
And we think it's such a privilege to be able to see it live.
In Salzburg.
In Salzburg, it's absolutely amazing.
Julie Andrews is my husband's favorite singer, and so it's wonderful.
At the Sound of Music show, you can try all the Von Trapp children's favourite things, like schnitzel with noodles.
One of my favourite things, crisp apple strudel.
And there's that old favourite, do-re-mi.
Me, a name I call myself, a long way to run. Jam and bread bring us back to dough.
Dough. If the show's not enough, you can take the Sound of Music bus tour. Tea, a drink with jam and bread, that'll bring us back to dough. And you can visit some of the real-life movie sets.
My friends, they filmed the scenes here when the kids were coming along in the boat. Splash into the water, remember that?
What many people don't realise is that the musical was based on a true story, and Maria really was a novice nun.
This delightful old building behind me is Stift Nonnberg, the monastery where Maria von Trapp lived whilst she was a novice nun. You can visit here if you like, but be very quiet because nuns still live here and it's still a functioning monastery.
And don't they play a lot of Mozart here? Well, he was born here, wasn't he? In the main street of Salzburg, right opposite McDonald's.
Many people in Austria have never even seen The Sound of Music, but it's amazing how many people from how many different countries not only know every location, like this one, where every scene was filmed, but they know the words to every single song.
Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, soft and white, clear and bright, you look happy to meet me.
You see what I mean by we have very little in common in musical talent?
After escaping the sing-alongs, we decided a fortress was ample protection, so we headed up to Salzburg's high point. The city of Salzburg is very close to the border. In fact, the mountains right behind us here are actually in Germany. The fortress is complete with a torture chamber and a coffee shop with a great view. From there it was on to the beer garden for a chance to spend our plastic. This is the Salzburg Card and watch.
Salzburg is the first city in the world to offer this kind of card. It's already an all-inclusive stay on it. You have 2 meals per day, including drinks, a coffee break in the afternoon, or a good nightcap at the hotel bar. And then you can go to all sites, to all museums, and you have free public transport with our buses. And also a concert or a dinner show in the evening. Isn't that great?
If you're feeling hungry about mid-morning on Saturdays here in Salzburg, this is a good place to get a healthy snack. It's the University Square Fruit and Vegetable Market. This is my healthy meal for the day. How much?
How much? 30 shilling, please.
30 shillings.
30 shillings.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm starving.
I'm totally famished. Should we try out this place?
Yes, this is St. Peter's, and it's actually the oldest known restaurant in Europe.
I believe it started, according to the sign over the door, in 803.
Well, they should be pretty good at it by now.
I hope the food's still fresh. We're in the grounds of Holdren Palace, the 17th century home of Archbishop Marcus Siticus. These pleasure gardens are dotted with trick fountains with which the Archbishop amused his guests. This table, for instance, would spray up water, wetting all of the bishop's guests, but keeping him completely dry.
Finally, we decided to wind down at the Sacher Hotel's Salzburg sister, the Österreichischer Hof, a little piece of luxury on the riverside. And what better place to enjoy a view over the River Salza with, of course, that famous fort behind us. Well, one of us should be working, so I've sent Edward off to the salt mines. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, she wasn't lying. There really is a salt mine outside of Salzburg. That's actually where the place got its name. Oh, they've been mining salt here for 3,000 years. Oh, this is heavy. There must be an easier way of making a living than this. Ah! This is one of the older mine shafts, right?
Yes, that's right. That was the old mine shaft. It was made in the 15th century. It was a very small shaft because they had very simple tools and only a hammer. And by hammers, they made this size. But today we have TNT, modern machines.
The mine actually borders 2 countries.
Do you have your passports with you?
I'm afraid I left it in the hotel. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Germany, Austria,
Austria,
Germany, Austria. Wow.
Let's go to Germany.
You can slide down the traditional wooden escalator and cruise on an underground lake. But life in Salzburg is its most enjoyable under the summer sun.